Good evening and welcome to a special edition of 16 by 9, The Bigger Picture. Tonight, a story about survival and the delicate balance between life and death and how fate often plays a role. It's been a year since the eyes of the world were fixated on Mumbai. Terrorists had attacked the city, killing whomever crossed their paths. Caught in the middle were 3 Canadians who miraculously survived. They told their harrowing story to 16 by 9's Mike Drolet.
Night had fallen on Mumbai, the bustle of the vibrant Indian city muted by darkness. But the city wouldn't sleep on this night. The attacks began shortly after 9:30 p.m. when 2 gunmen opened fire at the rail terminal. It was deadly, gruesome, but merely a prelude of what was to come. 10 gunmen had spread out across the city, heavily armed, doped up on LSD and cocaine, and with one driving purpose: kill as many people as they possibly could. 2 of their targets were hotels packed with foreigners. Amongst the Canadians were a yoga teacher, an actor, and a philanthropist.
The first 5 minutes that I was hearing noises, I didn't really register what was happening at all.
Rainer Burke, who made a name for himself by correctly predicting and then playing the stock market crash, had just arrived at the Taj Palace. After months of charitable work, he was looking forward to relaxing. But when he opened the door to the pool area, he suddenly found himself in the crossfire.
You're basically walking from a 6-star hotel lobby into an area where people were being executed. That was a war zone. The noises were just incredible. Something that you'll never hear louder than any discotheque that you've ever been in. Not just the gunshots, but the screaming, and then you have the smell, just fumes and different kind of smells.
A few blocks away at the Oberoi Hotel, Helen Connolly and Michael Rudder were on a high after a week of meditation and yoga. They were in the restaurant when shooters burst through the door. They dove under the table, but the gunmen methodically worked their way through the room. Witnesses say they never stopped smiling.
It was like a youngster playing a video game, trying to get a perfect score.
I got hit in my right arm by an AK-56 bullet. I got hit in the left thigh. I thought, get down. And I dove to the ground, and as I was diving, I was hit in the buttocks. A 4th bullet was found that entered an AK-47 bullet, entered my head here and was lodged in my head. They had to take pliers to get it out, but it did not penetrate my skull.
Everybody but Helen was shot.
A bullet glanced off my thigh but didn't penetrate it.
Her 2 friends, Alan and Naomi, had been killed. Michael Rudder was unconscious, but she was alive and desperate to escape.
In that moment, climbing out over them to get out from under the table, I just said, my inner awareness said, oh, they're gone. I could see very clearly Alan had been killed, and I moved Naomi's arm, checking for signs of life, and there was none. She was obviously gone too.
She scrambled out from under the table, one shoe, the clothes on her back, but nothing else.
I didn't even have my reading glasses, my passport, my ID, anything. I had nothing, and I just thought, in this moment, I have absolutely zero control of my situation.
As the few survivors in the restaurant escaped, Michael Rudder, shot 4 times, including once in the head, was suddenly left all alone.
I passed out and I woke up. I was in a pool of my own blood.
Fortunately for him, the gunman had moved on to the enormous lobby of the hotel. He heard them destroying furniture, and then he smelled something familiar: gas. They were planning on setting fire to the hotel.
The ceiling of the restaurant was very low. The lobby was 26 stories high. I said, the smoke's going to come in here. I'm going to cough. They're going to hear me. They're going to kill me. So I said, they're doing all this stuff now. Their guns aren't in their hands. This is the time to go. So I crawled towards the service door, one of those swinging doors. And I got to the other side of that, and I managed to get myself to my feet. And I followed a trail of blood out through and found an emergency exit. Came out of that exit, and there was a Bombay cop with a his pistol pointed right at my heart. He quickly holstered his pistol and grabbed me, called a cab.
He took that cab to the hospital. Lucky he didn't bleed out. Meanwhile, back at the Taj Palace, Rainer Burke was running for his life. As bullets exploded in the wall behind him, he raced for the exit. Standing still, he knew meant death.
I actually slid into two bodies that were on the ground, and they were Westerners. And in fact, the gentleman still had a bottle, I think, of wine in his hand. His wife was down as well, and they'd both been shot several times each. So I kind of slid into them, and they were the only thing that stopped my slide.
It was at that moment he locked eyes with a terrorist who was trying to kill him. He paused briefly, thinking he was about to die.
It was either a jam or a reload, but it went silent for about 3 seconds and allowed me to get out of the pool, back into the hallway, and around the corner. Still not sure exactly what happened. I'll probably never know what happened there.
He didn't look back, sprinting down corridors, upstairs, over bodies, but always away from the gunfire, until finally he saw a window. In a full sprint, he dove through it.
I broke bones. I broke small pieces of my elbows and both arms.
He had just dove headfirst through a third-floor window. He was broken, lying in a gutter, but like Michael Rudder and Helen Connolly, he was alive.
Absolutely life or death. At the point when I went through, definitely one of these guys, I believe he was wearing an orange kind of shirt. He had me targeted as somebody that he wanted to get at that point. And so I knew, even at the point when I went out the window, I knew he was still firing, so there was no real choice.
A year later, all three are recovering in their own way. Michael Rudder is still rehabbing his physical wounds. Helen, who miraculously escaped unscathed, is more focused than ever on meditation and yoga. Today, she's convinced a greater power intervened to keep her alive.
I just surrendered to Source, to the divine, knowing that I will be looked after. And I have been looked after.
Rainer seems more intent than ever to help the poor of Asia. He's more focused, but he's also changed in other ways. A month ago, he was building another orphanage in southern Cambodia when a gunman opened fire on the bar where he was having a drink. He once again escaped, but after living through Mumbai, nothing will ever be the same.
Things that used to bother me don't seem to bother me anymore. Things don't seem to have the same gravity anymore. Even death, I think you come to accept.